What's going on, everybody? It's Havoc. Welcome back to another Ultra Rumble video, and today I got some huge news for everyone. Um, we got a V-Jump leak, or V-Jump scan, that gives us a lot of things to look forward to. So, start off with, we have new costumes that are coming to the game. The Baka one's nice, but other than that, they're kind of just all recolors, so they're not the greatest, but they're neat. Uh, The big thing with this V-Jump scan is we are getting duos. Rather than only having trios to queue into, we can now queue in with a squad of two. And they will also be adding solo battle. So that's huge. We also got a new silhouette. So we already know that this is Endeavor on the left. Because he drops in Season 2, Endeavor drops with Season 2. And this is the silhouette we had in the roadmap for it. So we know that's Endeavor. That's probably just like his elbow. He's probably just doing a pose. But the one on the right here is kind of interesting because you can take this in quite a few ways. So who do I think this right picture or silhouette is? My money is heavily going towards Stain because if we look at it, it could easily be this, like the part here that's poking out could easily be his sword, which pokes out to the side of him here. He's also got all these bandages, which that could easily be. His clothes aren't really form-fitting. They kind of have a lot of bagginess to them, which you can definitely see here. Plus, we are desperately desperate for a villain. And one of the most popular villains is Stain. So that's my thoughts on that. Endeavor's coming out on the 23rd or 24th. We're getting duos, new costumes, a new character got teased. Let's go look over in the My Hero Discord. I'll leave a link to this Discord in the description. It helps you keep up to date with what's going on in the My Hero world. Because they also have stuff for the mobile game. But we're interested in Ultra Rumble right now. And the first thing you can see here is Asui. Asui got nerfed pretty drastically too. Her early game is not going to be nearly as strong as it was. To start off with her tongue whip, they buffed it a little bit. Her tongue whip, they nerfed it a little bit. They made it do 15% less damage, which if we saw from like Bakugo and stuff, 15% damage isn't really crazy. But when you take into consideration everything else they did to her, it starts to stack up a little bit. So they also hit her beta skill, which is her, if she's in the air, it will do like the tongue down that bounces you off the ground, and then if she does it on the ground, it swipes you away. I'll have footage for it on the screen. But her beta skill, they reduce the damage by 15% as well at all levels. So overall, everything she's doing is doing 15% less damage across the board. Which, that's fine. Lowering that time to kill it is never a bad thing, especially when you can just die in 3 hits anyway. But then we look at the rest of the nerfs she got. To start off with, they did give her a little tiny buff with her beta skill to compensate for the damage nerf she got hit with, and they made it so that it reloads a little bit quicker. They made it so it reloads a little bit quicker at the first 3 stages, which is fine, totally acceptable, especially with the big damage nerf that she got on it. But then they also decided to lower the ammo count as well, so that she doesn't have 3 all the time. She now starts off with 2 for the first 3 levels, and then it becomes 3 later on. Which I kind of wish they did that for the alpha quirk instead, but it looks like they wanted to hit her damage more than they wanted to hit her mobility. And then her aerial damage for her beta is dropped by 10% instead of the 15%. So she still has the benefit of being hit and run. It's just that once she's hard committed to a fight or forced to be committed to a fight because Aizawa got buffed and changed, so she might have to be in the fight more often. it kind of does lower her a little bit, but I don't think it's enough to kill her. Then we look at Aizawa. Aizawa got he kind of got shafted. I think he needed a little bit more than just this, but he does get more damage on uh his like cone whip thing, which is his gamma. Uh, there is a typo here. This is supposed to be 0.08. So he gets 7% more damage on his 7% more damage once he hits level 3 with it, and then it goes on and on until he gets to uh this should be zero point 0.8 or 0.18. So an 18% damage increase on it. It's not the greatest, but it's well needed. I think they could have easily buffed his other abilities to do a little bit more damage, and it wouldn't have been that much of an issue. But yeah, that's the state of Aizawa. Toga got buffed. Her beta skill, which is the one where she runs around with the knives, damage got increased by 20%, which is quite a big increase, especially when she's already on the stronger side of characters. But that's mainly because she can be stronger characters. I personally think Toga, as just Toga herself, is probably sitting around the upper A tier. But then she can transform into those other S tiers. But now I think she's starting to hover a little bit closer into that S tier slot. Because now she's doing 20% more damage on her dash, which is that's her big damage ability already. On top of just throwing her knives. She can also now do it twice, so she has more movement now. And then obviously, if you hit someone, you can extend it longer, and it dashes quite a distance. So now she can do that twice. Midoriya got a huge buff. And then let's move on to Midoriya, because he got nerfed a little bit. They made his Gamma skill 1 second longer across basically all levels. But I don't think that hits the core things that people are having issues with Midoriya. Midoriya's problem is his shots do so much. His alpha quirk is just really strong hitting. It's a little bit weaker than a character like Bakugo or Todoroki, but it's still up there in terms of damage that it can do. Momo got hit pretty hard for, I want to say, no reason. I don't think Momo was this oppressive, at least not for me. Especially when you have characters like Kendo that just got buffed that kind of just walls her off completely. But she got 3 seconds added to her cooldowns at all levels on her beta quirk. Which, sure, that's fine, I guess. But then Bakugo, he didn't get hit hard in the way we needed him hit. His damage was super oppressive to the point where it was kind of hard to play into him without just getting blown up, especially as Aizawa. But all they did was they made it so he has to commit more to a fight by making it so that his dash or his Y ability or triangle ability or whatever button you have it mapped to takes 12 seconds instead of 10 seconds. Now we look at like all these changes that they did, and what really changes here. Asui drops down as probably not number 1 character, at least not at the beginning of the game, and Bakugo stays as number 1 and number 2, or number 1 or number 2. Midoriya doesn't really change very much on that leaderboard. Momo goes even further down the rankings because this is her canon. Her canon is kind of her big setup. Well, I guess you're only doing 1 canon, so this doesn't really affect her that much. It still sucks, but it's not that big of a deal. Toga is just better all around. And then Aizawa, I guess he's no longer the worst character in the game, but a large reason he was the worst character in the game is because all of his stuff was broken. Alright, now if we boot into the game, we'll be able to get the Aizawa skin that was in that V-Jump scan. Yep, there it is. So that's one of them. I don't know how they're going to distribute the other 3 skins there, because Bakugo's birthday isn't until September. But yeah, it doesn't look like there's any like official confirmation that they fixed the bugs that were attached to Aizawa. That's going to be something we'll have to playtest and see as a community if it's actually fixed. But that's been it for me. I hope you guys are excited for this new duos queue mode as I am. It's going to be so nice because like there's times where you're playing with a buddy and you just don't have the third, so you have to deal with a random and then they just instantly quit on you. Having 2 teams, or having a team of 2 in against 12 teams, it's going to be a lot more fun. It's going to be probably a lot more chaotic because there's not really a whole lot of places on the map for 12 teams to go. But we'll have to see. I hope you're excited. I'm excited. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.